Wildlife campaigners say it'll destroy natural habitats. Others point to the economic potential of a major investment. Today, a public inquiry has heard arguments for and against plans for a £325 million racing circuit in Blaenau Gwent. Developers and environmentalists have been at loggerheads over claims that the Circuit of Wales would damage wildlife by building on common land. Paul Heaney has the story.
A promise of 6,000 jobs if this rugged land is turned into a racetrack.
The whole site would cover an area the size of more than 330 rugby pitches.
It was granted outline planning permission in July 2013, so why the delay?
Whilst it might be privately owned, it's still public use. And therefore, at this stage of the Circuit of Wales proposals, they've already got their planning permission, but the final hurdle they've got to go through is deregistering that common land. That means that they have to find alternative land to provide that same public use.
The developers aren't buying up all the replacement land themselves and donating it to the community, though. Most of the 7 areas they're suggesting could be made into common are already accessible to the public, like part of Wentwood Forest, owned by the Welsh Government, here in Monmouthshire. Some argue the stakes are too high to further delay the project.
This is probably the greatest opportunity that this area will have seen in terms of jobs and everything that will bring in the past probably 4 or 5 decades.
The site that's being lost is beautiful open wilderness, and the sites that they're being replaced with are a forest or parkland, and they're not the same. They already have public access, so the public actually isn't gaining much. They're just losing one of their wildernesses.
So who's right? Well, that's why a planning inspector came here to Ebbw Vale today to listen to both sides of the argument. The developer says overall wildlife and the environment will get better as a result of these plans because they'll be doing a lot more for conservation in other areas. Wildlife campaigners completely disagree. The inquiry finishes at the end of next week. After that, the final decision is down to the Welsh Government. For good or for bad, with more detailed planning, horizons here could change forever.